Hello, welcome. Our topic is on mechanized agriculture and gender studies. We're going to look at mechanized agriculture, okay? Agriculture is the world's most important industry. It provides us with most of our food. Agriculture also supplies materials that we need for clothing, okay? Now, mechanized agriculture includes using machines, okay, to do most of the agricultural activities. The agricultural industry have developed over time from basic farming with simple tools such as hoes and cutlasses to the modern era of mechanized agriculture. Now, when you look at the old tools like hoes, cutlasses, it makes farming tedious and farmers are not able to move fast with both planting and harvesting, okay, using the old tools of farming, which is hoes and cutlasses. But mechanization, in any little form it is, has gone a long way, helping farming to be more easier in terms of harvesting and processing agricultural products. Okay, now you can see all these farmlands. This particular machine, it's an improvised one. Okay, it's not a sophisticated machine, but we say that it is mechanized because it's not like using your normal hands to process it just the way this woman is doing. Okay, today there are lots of advantages and disadvantages of mechanized agriculture, okay, of modern agricultural technology. Now we know that foods that are produced in another country such as Japan today can be freeze dried, packaged and sent to Nigeria without it getting spoiled. Okay, so advantages of mechanized agriculture includes helping to cut down trees and clearing vegetation from large portions of land. Okay, now we are looking at the various forms of machines that are actually used for agricultural purposes. Okay, you've seen the rice harvester. This rice harvester, the one before it was the manure handler. Okay, they use it to push manure in the farm. Okay, so like we said earlier, these machines have really helped farm labor. Then you have the seed planting. This machine helps to plant seed. Okay, these are mechanized machines that aid agriculture. So these machines, okay, like we know, they come in forms of tractors, harvesters, sprinklers, incubators for farm animals, then trollers. So all these machines help agricultural activities to be sped up, and it helps human labor. Okay, it makes work very efficient. This is field plowing. This machine helps to till and plow the field so that it will be malleable enough for the seeds to germinate easily. Okay, you can see this is the field plowing machine. Okay, so these machines are very expensive. Most often in Africa, even in Nigeria here, we may not be able to purchase them. Now, the next one, it's the snow thrower. Okay, in other countries where snow covers all the land, they get machines like this snow thrower to remove all the snow from the surface of the earth. Then they are able to plant. Okay, we don't have that kind of challenge in Nigeria here. Okay, then you have other machines like wrapping machines. Okay, they help to wrap whatever, maybe at the end of harvesting there are things you need to wrap up. These machines help you to do them. Now, corn harvester. Okay, you can see this cornfield. Now, as this machine harvests this maize, it puts it in another compartment. Okay, instead of going from one stalk to the other, from one maize plant to the other, this machine does the job and puts it in a compartment in that machine. Now you have baler wrapper. Okay, all these ones, they have all the functions that perform on the farm field to aid farm activities. Now, these machines perform tasks faster than human laborers, okay? But unfortunately, these machines can be very expensive, and many Nigerian farmers are unable to afford them. Okay, so that is for mechanized farming. You can see this particular machine now is a sugarcane harvester. Okay, we want to look at the next topic, which is on gender studies. We want to look at gender studies. When you hear the word gender, what comes to your mind? Now, sex and gender, of course, you know that when a baby is born, it's either a boy or a girl. This is the biological sex of the baby. Boys grow up to become men, while girls grow up to become women. Okay, so when you talk about gender studies, it's a bit related to agriculture, because in most clans and societies, you see that men go more with farming while women support, okay, with taking care of kids. Now, I want to look at the introduction to gender studies. Gender studies is an academic area of study that critically examines how gender shapes our identities, our social interactions, and our world. Gender studies is an interdisciplinary area of study which focuses on the complex interaction of gender with other identity markers such as your race, ethnicity, sexuality, nation, and religion. Okay, so when we talk about gender in all societies, many things are associated with a person's biological sex. For instance, most people believe that the girls like to play with dolls and boys like to play with toy cars. In most Nigerian families, girls are expected to learn how to cook while boys are not. So we're still talking about gender studies. Okay, so in the course of this lesson, you will come to see some similarities between men and women and some differences between men and women. Of course, when you talk about similarities, you say that both men and women are human beings and they are equal. Okay, they are all equal. Although men and women look physically different, it has been scientifically proven that they are quite similar in many other ways. Okay, so they have the ability to communicate effectively and the ability to lead. Men and women are also similar in the ways their brains function. I hope you're getting it. Now, we want to look at the word gender. Gender. This is the meaning of a society, rather the meaning a society gives to a person's biological sex. So if you're a female, they call you a girl or a woman. If you're a male, they call you a boy or a girl. Now, gender intersectionality is basically a framework which focuses on the ways in which gender interrelates with other social categorization, such as your ethnicity, class, sexuality, identity, age, and disability. So when we say ethnicity, it means like culture. Class, you have the wealthy, you have the poor, you have the middle class, that is those not too poor, not too rich. Then sexuality, whether you're a male or a female, okay. Then identity, who you are in the society, could be identifying you through your religion. Then the age, whether the person is disabled or not. Now we're looking at the difference between sex and gender. Sex refers to biological characteristics that categorize someone as either female or male, whereas gender refers to the socially constructed ideas and practices what it is to be male or female. So get it? Sex talks about, that characteristics that makes you a male or a female. That is your sex, either male or female. Say, what's your sex, male or female? When you talk about gender, those things you do, those practices you do, okay, that constructs you, that puts you into the being of being a male or a female. So that's the difference between sex and gender. So when we say sex, we are saying those characteristics physically, okay, that makes you a male or a female. But when we talk about gender, it's about all those socially constructed ideas. Okay, maybe you're wearing a trouser, whatever the customs or traditions demands, it's what brings it to become gender. Gender equality requires equal enjoyment by women and men of socially valued goods, opportunities, resources, and rewards. So when we talk about gender equality, it doesn't mean that men and women become same, but their opportunities and life chances are equal. So when we say gender equality, many people in Nigeria still believe that men and women are unequal. Okay, so when we talk about this, it refers to gender inequality, but we're saying gender equality in terms of education, politics, inheritance, jobs. In most parts of Nigeria, women are not allowed to inherit property. In terms of education, some families prefer to train their male children than their girl child. Then in politics, they believe that women are always weak, and so they don't want to give them more opportunities in politics. Okay, so when we talk about changing roles of women in Nigeria, you've heard about the word feminism and gender studies, or maybe this is your first time. Now, gender studies is basically a field of knowledge and study, whereas feminism is both a political movement and field of knowledge and study. So gender studies is more like a study where you talk about feminism, when you talk about male, female characteristics, where feminism is more like a movement, okay? There would have been no gender studies without feminism as a driving force. I hope you're getting it now, okay? So another aspect we are looking at is the consequences of gender discrimination. Gender discrimination is unjust. Girls and boys and men and women are equal in value. They are all human beings. They should be treated equally. In voting, they should be voted for. In education, girls should be educated. Okay? In other things in the society, girls should be given equal rights. In most societies, it's believed that when it comes to cattle rearing or even having some kind of job, women are always restricted from working in those certain jobs or industries. In almost 50% of countries in the world, this is what happens. So solving gender discrimination, how should we do it? The most important step to eradicating gender discrimination is for people to change their attitude towards girls and women. Should stop seeing them as weaker vessels. The government should get the girls involved in school, in political programs, and even jobs, okay? And other non-governmental organizations should take up the girl child and train women rights organization. Thanks for watching this video. Be good.